I gotta be honest, brother. Business. WWE FastLane, man. It was all business tonight. I don't know. You can say it was anything other than business tonight. I have to mute both streams as we're getting ready here. I don't know if you guys see this portion on YouTube, the pre-stream part. But if you do, welcome. Tonight was a fun pay-per-view. What's up, Ashley? What's up, Sergio? My name is TubbyEmu, and welcome to the WWE FastLane pay-per-view prediction review. Going over the pay-per-view. Right now, I know my boy CM Pulse is live. I do not expect a big crowd. You would much prefer to be watching CM Pulse right now. I'm going to put over the brother. Although, if we faced in a match, he'd get his ass handed to him, CM Pulse. And you know it. You can talk all the game you want to on Twitter. I'd take you down. Anyway, let's dive into FastLane. We did a prediction show before the pay-per-view. And let's take a look at how we actually did versus what we threw out there before the show. We threw out Breezango getting a win. They did. Nakamura getting the win. We did. Orton getting the win. We did. Carmella getting the win. We did. The Usos. New Day. We talked heavily about the Bludgeon Brothers and why they need to be in the Mania match. But we did not talk about them coming in, and we're going to save that because the Bludgeon Brothers, brother, they got over tonight. They became a big deal tonight on pay-per-view, which is crazy to see because they've been facing enhancement talent. But if Braun Strowman has taught me anything, facing enhancement talent is not the worst thing in the world. Charlotte Flair. Personally, I wanted Ruby Riot. I mean, the actual official prediction of TeemingTubbyEmu was Charlotte, which we got right. But Ruby Riot, I was hoping for the swerve. And last but not least, AJ Styles. So as far as the actual matches go, we're pretty much spot on. Does that make the pay-per-view a good thing? Character-wise, let's go over all the matches. I want to welcome you guys into the stream. What's up, Abram? What's up, Zero? What's up, Logan? Today's pay-per-view was something in the fact that I think it developed the characters, and I think it developed this show, and I think it helped go into WrestleMania season. But the problem is, if you're watching CM Pulse's stream, when you think about business, Pulse talks about the business being streamlined, and it is. Today's pay-per-view was nothing to write home about in terms of the matches. Like, there was no match tonight that was like Finn Balor style. Like, there was no match that tore down the house that made you want this pay-per-view. Nakamura versus Rusev is good, like I thought it would be. When Aiden English faced Nakamura on TV, and you had the head kick from my boy Rusev, I went, that's setting up the future match. If Nakamura wins the title, we're getting Rusev Nakamura. But then the next week on SmackDown, Rusev comes out with Rusev Day and says, no, brother. I'm facing you at the pay-per-view this Sunday. You took out my boy Aiden's throat. And then he sung him out tonight. I thought it would have been cooler if Aiden could have came out tonight and had been like, and stopped him. I enjoyed it, though. I definitely did enjoy it. I think tonight's pay-per-view was, I don't want to call it a payoff, and I don't want to call it a slow build. I don't want to call it bad in terms of the actual pay-per-view matches because I was actually thoroughly happy, quote, as a writer. If you take a look at everything that went down, you had Nakamura obviously getting the win, so he's looking good. He's going up against Rusev. So in the stroke of a month, Shinsuke Nakamura was going up against Randy Orton, and then he's going up against Rusev, and Rusev, obviously one of the most over guys on the show. I mean, I would venture to bet, besides AJ Styles, Rusev right now is the most over guy on SmackDown Live. He's getting the pops, brother. He's over. He doesn't need to do... He just needs a shot, and I think his shot will come. I'm still hoping for the turn from Aiden English eventually, but Nakamura needed the victory tonight. He got the victory. But Rusev looked good. He made himself a challenger. He made himself relevant, in my opinion. Randy Orton pulling this surprise victory out of nowhere. When I said Randy would win on the pre-show, a couple people chuckled and laughed at me. Like, yeah, okay, Tubby. Okay, Randy's going to win. That's going to be a thing, right, brother? Randy? Really, Randy? Do you not know how awesome Bobby Roode is? Why would you watch Randy? Randy beat John Cena. I forgot this. I missed this until the video package that Randy Orton has never held the United States Championship. I was so focused on John Cena in my head, because I made Mania 34 the movie in 2K18. So focused on John Cena getting that IC title and completing every single title, I missed the biggest storyline WWE's had going for the last 10 years in the rivalry between John Cena and Randy Orton. It goes back to Raw versus SmackDown. It's this huge cause when they finally faced each other. Who won that match? When John Cena beat Del Rio and then Randy, they eventually combined the titles. Randy won. Randy's always been the chosen one for the most part. So Randy wins the United States title and in a very slow match. And I think this is one of those things that these kind of matches are what makes somebody go, when they're watching FastLane, that you'd have a problem with FastLane, right? You'd go, this was nothing to write home about. It was kind of a boring build-up. It was, you just hit the RK out of nowhere and the match was over, which is true, because that's kind of what we've been doing with the boy Randy, right? We haven't really got a shot. We are going to talk about, unfortunately, there was some breaking news that, unfortunately, Jeff Hardy did get arrested. It's a real thing. We actually, I'll have to save that and talk about that a little bit later, because there's going to be implications for that. But overall, after Randy won the title, you had Natalya versus Carmella versus Becky Lynch and Iommi. Now, this point, I would 100% agree with Paulson, the fact that it does seem like a throw-together match. It does seem like a SmackDown match. It does seem like they really don't know what to do. But if you watch the weekly shows, which even if you watch on DVR, it's considered watching, Paul, so I'm watching you. Carmella really hasn't done anything. She's been the champion. Last week, she got a little fire. She took down Becky Lynch. Now Carmella came out kind of heelish. She came out kind of like a badass tonight. She seemed more aggressive. If you watch the match, which is actually a pretty good match, I will say that to the women's credit, they actually, to me, I enjoyed the match itself. I did see a couple, bumps here, glitches here and there, whatever. But overall, I enjoyed it because Carmella's, with all the rumors circulating about Carmella cashing in or not cashing in or waiting till Mania or doing whatever, Carmella showed a more dominant side, which she's been starting to show on TV more. So this pay-per-view match is a complete throwaway, except for the fact that, to me, Carmella's character is getting more dimension. She's starting to finally realize, no, damn it, I'm Mrs. Money in the Bank, and I'm going to show it. Now, most likely, like your boy Baron Corbin, she's getting the build-up to eventually lose. Possibly. Most likely. Honestly. Probably. Unless they're saving Charlotte versus Asuka like Brock Roman. Wouldn't that be a treat? If Asuka versus Charlotte is the 3-year plan down the road. Wow. That'd be crazy to think about. But Carmella, we saw the different side of her. So the match itself, you're right. It's a throwaway, whatever. But to me, what I saw was Carmella come out a little bit more vicious, a little bit more heelish, a little bit more aggressive, so to speak. Then we go into the Usos and the New Day, which the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't know how I overlooked the fact that they were going to be involved tonight. I was so focused on Mania, and I couldn't figure out why we were getting this match. I couldn't figure out why we were getting the Usos versus the New Day again. Why this was a rivalry renewed with so many tag teams on SmackDown. I couldn't figure it out to me. As a writer. I couldn't figure it out. Personally, I couldn't. I was like, why are we getting this match? I wanted this match. Everybody said this is going to be the best match. Let this match go 40 minutes, 3 out of 5, 10 out of 20 falls, 11 out of 20 falls. Let it be everything we want it to be. And then by letting it be everything we want it to, it would be the one match on the card we love. And that's where the psychology came in, just like when Braun faced Brock. Well, he can lose to him as long as he puts him through a table, brother. Well, the match that we wanted, the match that, came out of nowhere, that's a renewed rivalry, we didn't get because of the Bludgeon Brothers. The Bludgeon Brothers came in tonight and made such a statement, a defiant statement. Like, I'm talking, these boys came out and ended the career of Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods is toast. Xavier Woods, my boy. Chris Danker is on the way in a helicopter to go check out the boy because he got lit up 100%. The Bludgeon Brothers did a fantastic job tonight. When they came out and interrupted that match, the crowd was upset, right? Because you wanted this match. But by the time they were done and you saw the destruction of them, the whole place was cheering for the Bludgeon Brothers, or were at least respecting the dominance that they were doing, that they were bestowing on everybody. They were beating the hell out of them. Beating the hell out of them. Like, I just look at that. Like, they literally destroyed them. Like, the Bludgeon Brothers put Xavier Woods in another area code. Like, I'm still personally hoping Xavier Woods, I hope they do a United States ladder match and Xavier Woods wins the title. Xavier Woods all year has gotten this close, like this close to being something more with the United States champion. He's been in the tag team with New Day forever. If I'm being brutally honest, what I would hope after tonight what happened would be Kofi and Big E in the tag team match, and I want to see Xavier go for the United States title. If Xavier Woods can take that much of a beating tonight from the Bludgeon Brothers and come out tomorrow or Tuesday, 2 nights from now, and be ready to go, man. But they're going to have some stuff to say with the Bludgeon Brothers. So finally, we're in WrestleMania season. It's a slow build, and I know people don't like that. A lot of people like Macho T. They wanted Nakamura Styles a month ago. Why keep building it? Why give us the 6-pack challenge, which we're going to talk about in a second, when you can just make Nakamura Styles? Well, to me, again, as a writer, it goes back to Jinder and Nakamura. You don't have Nakamura beat Jinder because a lot of people didn't consider Jinder an actual champion, right? Roman all year doesn't go near the title until it comes time for WrestleMania where Brock has been the part-time champion. Well, AJ came back, won the title from Jinder, overcame the odds, has beat people time in and time again, and finally, with the odds stacked against him, just like the odds were stacked against Roman Reigns in the Chamber, he won. Now, if you go back a couple years, when Roman beat Triple H, who was the very first person he challenged? AJ Styles. Styles didn't win. Styles would lose twice. It would go on to everybody's like, oh, God, they're burying him. Maybe we get the club. Maybe we get this gimmick going over. But eventually, AJ Styles would become the SmackDown champion and carry the show. If I was a betting man, I would venture to say we're going to see Styles versus Roman Reigns within the next 6 months. We're on that level. If Roman goes in and beats Brock and Nakamura topples the house that AJ Styles built on SmackDown, if I was a betting man, I'd say they'd come back and we'd see at some point Reigns versus AJ Styles. Personally. Talking about Jeff Hardy, for those that don't know, this is reportedly right now. I don't have any more details on this. Reportedly, he was arrested last night on the suspicion of driving under the influence. Reportedly, and like I said, I don't want to dive into reports until actual official. I think there might have been a police report released, but before we clarify it, I just saw this before I went on air, so I don't want to comment on it because they may be fake, it may be real. I don't know. I just can't commentate on it just yet. That's why we're going to save it. Charlotte versus Ruby Riot. Going into this one, I think I tweeted out this morning, how can Ruby lose? It's 3-on-1, right? It's 3-on-1. But then they didn't join her at ringside. And then we had Charlotte versus Ruby Riot. And I went, okay, give me a minute. Let me see. And then eventually they came out. But then eventually, again, the losing team, which it makes sense because on TV, they had Charlotte going through the Riot Squad, through Sarah Logan, through Liv Morgan, and Naomi and Becky Lynch were there. They were the sidekicks. They were in the background of Charlotte's reign. They were getting the rub from Charlotte, essentially. If you're not going to do anything, standing behind Charlotte at least, it gets you on the TV. It gets you on the screen. Well, that's where things like, to me, when they came out, I was like, oh, God. Well, okay. I knew Charlotte was going to leave tonight, the champion. I just secretly hoped Ruby would win. Because secretly, I'm still hoping for a 6-woman match instead of Asuka versus Charlotte, just so Becky Lynch could win the title. I think it's her time. But that's neither here nor there. Ruby Riot got her shit in tonight, though. Ruby Riot looked fantastic. If this is your first shot at a title, Ruby Riot made an impression tonight. And maybe I have to ask you guys, did you like Ruby Riot tonight? Personally, I liked Ruby Riot tonight. I thought Ruby Riot came across good. Good. Probably my most favorite and most innovative spot I think I've seen was the Ruby Riot Charlotte spot at the end of that match, where it looked like she was going for the electric chair. She wraps the legs, and then she smashes her forward on the turnbuckle, and I about died. I was sitting in my seat, and I went... I died. I 100% died. I thought it was the best thing ever. I was like, somebody need to check on Ruby's head. She could be concussed. There's no way Woods will be back in 2 days. I don't know, man. You don't want to count out him just yet. You don't want to count him out just yet. So I thought Ruby Riot did a great job tonight. I thought she got her shit in. I thought Ruby Riot, if you're going to lose and you are stacking the deck against Charlotte to prove Charlotte's the most dominant, to prove she's ready for Asuka, because can you truly be ready for Asuka? I don't think you can. I don't think you can be ready for Asuka whatsoever. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't think you can get to that point. So stacking the deck with the Riot Squad, to me, makes the most sense, personally. It works. And tonight, she excelled every expectation I had. Ruby Riot tonight, my God, I could see her eventually being champion. That promo package for this match was phenomenal. It really was. Then let's talk about the main event. The result, all for it. The actual match, which it's going to piss a lot of people off, that Shane McMahon took out Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. To me, the way I just justify this, right? Because I think it was Pulse's show right before we came on air that Pulse was talking about. It's a weekly thing, right? This is the shit you would see on SmackDown, which is right. I mean, it is true. I did not expect Shane to pull out both of them. But you have to remember, AJ Styles earned Shane McMahon's respect. I have to imagine is they're trying to stack the odds against AJ. He's trying to get him ready for Nakamura. Like, is Shane McMahon protecting AJ Styles the way like the corporation used to protect their champion in Triple H or The Rock or whatever? Something's up. There's rumors about Dolph Ziggler versus Shane McMahon. Do I want to see that match? I don't know. They teased it tonight when Dolph walked by him before the match, and I went, I'm all for it, because I think when you face a guy like Shane, he has not had a bad WrestleMania match. The Undertaker and AJ Styles, they've been phenomenal matches. They absolutely will be. I know my boy Pulse is going to be losing his shit. If we get Dolph Ziggler versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, and Dolph Ziggler hits the zigzag spot where he holds onto the ropes, and Shane McMahon goes flying off, I guarantee CM Pulse loses his shit. I guarantee things get crazy. I guarantee your boy will be pissed. On the grandest stage of them all, Vintage Ziggler goes down. In the match, if you missed it, you did have the moment where Shane pulled them both out. You have KO tweeting about tape study for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I'll be honest with you. Is this the year that you have to be a big deal to be on the Mania card? Like the way they're selling this year's pay-per-view, and just messing with people, because right now, if you actually look at what we have announced, WrestleMania 34, what matches are official right now, we know it's going to be Asuka versus Charlotte. We know it's AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We know it's Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. We know it's The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. We know Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. But what other matches do we know or do we not know? Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Going back to the storytelling, what I tweet about. When you look at Survivor Series, I had the callback between Braun and Triple H, right? Charlotte beat Alexa Bliss at Survivor Series. So Asuka choosing her makes more sense in the story. If Asuka is the best and wants to face the best, that's who she faces. I was still hoping they would draw it out a little bit. I was hoping eventually on Monday Night Raw, Asuka, instead of coming out, would look at Nia Jax and go, get her. You know what I mean? Because Asuka and Nia Jax have history. She's earned the respect. I said that Nia Jax facing Asuka was more so getting Nia ready than it was the streak, which everybody was talking about. So we have a lot of matches set right now. In that main event, AJ, it was nothing to write home about. This match was nothing phenomenal. This match was nothing exactly to a lot of people's point. It just served its purpose. It was AJ Styles is your champion going into Mania. You're facing a guy like Nakamura, who unfortunately has not been built very good on TV. But I think that's where WWE is relying on the lore of Nakamura and how great he is, how great he was in NXT, how great he's supposed to be billed as. Nakamura beat John Cena on TV. AJ Styles couldn't do it. John Cena got into this match because he couldn't beat him. And tonight, AJ Styles won, and John Cena was laying there. And a lot of people, I saw a couple of people tweet out, were upset that Taker's gong didn't hit. And to be 100% honest with you, I get that, man. I was hoping for the gong. Could we be at a point where Cena really doesn't have a Mania match? Does Cena... Don't put Shane through a match with Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, you don't want a match with him. What's up, Ish? What's up, DJ Leonard? If you get a Dolph Ziggler Shane McMahon, I can't even. Yeah, people are going to get upset with Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, boy, I still like Dolph Ziggler. I actually like what he's doing because if you listen to the promos, especially before the pay-per-view tonight, well, Booker T's like talking to him, Booker T's like, that's the Dolph Ziggler I want. To me, that was the Dolph Ziggler I wanted. I got why Dolph Ziggler won the title and dropped it. He's that damn good. He doesn't need to go out there and keep defending a mid-card title. He won the title. And to me, that's what I see Dolph Ziggler's gimmick as, right? So in this main event, did he have a chance? No. But if you're going to say you're that damn good and you eventually want to get over on the Shane McMahon show because it's the land of opportunity, but the top 10 is built with everybody that's getting the opportunities, which is like, if you look at SmackDown and you put all the blame on Road Dogg, right? Which, I get it. Like, when it comes to women's matches, the one point I will absolutely agree with CM Pulse on 100% of the time is SmackDown does just throw a lot of women into multi-women matches, which drives me nuts. Just give me a story. Hopefully that's what we're starting to get with Carmella, because tonight Carmella came over. Carmella was vicious. Carmella was, again, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, they're just giving Carmella looking good just so she can lose on the cash-in. But they did a good job tonight. So this whole pay-per-view, when you look at it from a whole, I'm not going to go back and rewatch this pay-per-view. My honest to God impression, there's nothing on this pay-per-view that makes me turn around and go, bro, if you haven't seen WWE in forever, you got to go back and watch this match, right? That was not tonight, unfortunately. But here's what I saw. Here's what I got. Here's what I put over tonight. Here's what I noticed. Rusev looking damn good. Rusev versus Nakamura laying the seeds for a future match. I thought the seeds were laid last week on SmackDown. Randy Orton completes the Grand Slam. He's won every title now in the WWE. He's actually 3 years younger than Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode possibly going heel now. Jinder Mahal coming back into the equation, kind of elevating a little bit. Are we getting another triple threat match? I was seeing the jokes all around Twitter tonight. Triple Mania. Triple threat mania, man. This is the year of triple threats. You're getting everybody. You get a triple threat. You get a triple threat. You get a triple threat match, is what it seems like. A lot of triple threats going around. Do I think Carmella's cashing in at Mania? I would be okay with it, to be honest with you. Because if you have Charlotte versus Asuka, I truly think you could save this. And I know this sounds like a cop-out because it's such a big deal. I want to save Charlotte Asuka. I was kind of hoping to save it, but I get why they're doing it this year. So Carmella coming in like Seth Rollins, but still losing, would kind of be like Kane getting added to a triple threat to take the pinfall. Do you know what I mean? Carmella can, for the next month, Carmella can look like a beast. She can look like a boss. You can let Asuka versus Charlotte go the distance. They're main eventing. Honestly, I would let Charlotte versus Asuka main event WrestleMania. If I'm running WrestleMania 34, let them main event. When Carmella's music hits, it's going to be huge. But you have to over the course of the next 4 weeks, which is why I think tonight's pay-per-view, which if you look at that tag team match, doesn't mean anything. But Carmella, this more vicious streak coming out of her, you really have to build on this WWE. If this is what I saw, and I'm like trying to convince people like, yo, this random ass tag team match they had on SmackDown, or I'm sorry, it's not a SmackDown that they had on pay-per-view, means something, you need to bring me a Carmella. I want to see Carmella take down Becky Lynch. I want to see Carmella ambush Naomi. I want to see Carmella in the next 3 to 4 weeks. If she's cashing in, I want a reason to hate her when she cashes in at Mania. If I'm being honest. If I'm looking at Carmella and I want her to cash in, if that's what the rumors are swirling, you need to make her look like a legit contender to me. Because right now she's not. She's just Mrs. Money in the Bank. I want to see that dominant side of Carmella. I want to see her for the next 3 to 4 weeks run over people. How do you do it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you keep somebody close to her that screws her at the pay-per-view. I don't know. What's up, Just Some Guy? We are on YouTube and Twitch, by the way. If you prefer to watch one on Twitch or one on YouTube, I have both streams up. Carmella's got to be looking like a beast because Charlotte tonight looked like a beast. AJ Styles overcame it all and again won the title. Or retained the title, excuse me. Both of them looking good. Nakamura looking good against Rusev. Probably the best match you could have for Nakamura on this card. The Bludgeon Brothers. I feel like we could have a whole conversation on the Bludgeon Brothers because this is another one of those things when the right time strikes, in the right moment, it doesn't matter if they were facing enhancement talent and the crowd wasn't getting behind them. Because in a flip of the switch, when everybody wants this tag team match, they come out and... What was your guys' honest impression? I'm going to slow this down for a minute because I want to talk about this because we skipped over it. What was your honest impression of the Bludgeon Brothers? Were you guys, like, from a standpoint of the Usos, just because we know how good a matches the Usos and the New Day were, what was your actual gut reaction to the Bludgeon Brothers coming out? Was it like, boo these guys, or was it, God damn it, they're costing me an Usos versus New Day match? I seriously would want to know. Like, what was your actual reaction to them coming out? Was it like, these guys are costing me a good match? Were you cheering? Were you upset? Were you happy? Because they laid waste to people tonight. They absolutely did. They did. I mean, like, the whole crowd was cheering for them by the end. The spots they were doing were fantastic. Laying Xavier Wood out was fantastic, brother. It was phenomenal. And then they just went away. Xavier Woods was still shivering. I love the fact that they went to a commercial or whatever they did. They did a scene backstage, and then they came back to the arena with everybody still laid waste. That is how in one night you make the Bludgeon Brothers get, like, right? Like, before tonight, I didn't really think the Bludgeon Brothers were, I loved them. And I have to say, I will say this, Luke Harper, my God, it looks like Luke Harper is in the best shape of his life. We're talking about Rusev being in the best shape of his life. Luke Harper is looking like he's putting in work. So big shout out to you, man. Big shout out. Again, did anybody check on the pancakes? Because I know the pancakes were sitting there. The pancakes were on the ground. Did anybody check them? It's got to be a little upsetting. The Bludgeon Brothers prove why they're the contenders for the titles. Yeah. This really muddies the water now because the Usos need to be on the main card. I feel like unless the character that WWE wants is the Usos keep getting screwed out of Mania matches just like Dolph Ziggler's one-on-one matches, if they ran with it as a legitimate story and it made the TV characters of the Usos more resentful, more pissed off that they're like, boy, did you see what we did with the New Day? And then even the New Day don't get on the pay-per-view card to really show like WrestleMania is cutthroat. You need to sell that story for me. Because I'm at the point where if you don't put the New Day on the Usos and the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers on the main pay-per-view, brother, we're going to have an issue. We just are at this point because the Usos deserve it. They do. You can't not have the Usos on the main pay-per-view this year. I mean, The only time I will ever, and I guess if it's WrestleMania, can I blame Road Dogg for that? Like that's everybody's go-to excuse. I don't ever blame Road Dogg because it's more than just Road Dogg. But like, if you actually think about it, and I don't get the Usos on the Mania card, even me at that point, I couldn't justify that to you. I couldn't. I can justify the Revival not being on the card to me, even though I want the Revival versus the Bar. I want the Revival versus the Usos. I'd like a triple threat between the Revival, the Usos, and the the Bar. Like, I think they could tear down the house, the psychology between them. But the best thing they could do, in my opinion, if I'm being 100% honest, give the Usos a 2-on-2 match. This is going to hurt a lot of tag teams on SmackDown. But going back to, was it WrestleMania 27 they had the Fatal 4-Way tag team match on the pre-show? Was it WrestleMania 27 or 28? It was the one where it was the Fatal 4-Way where the Usos in their old gimmick, their old incarnation, won the tag team match. It was a dark match, I think. I'm pretty sure it was on the pre-show. I think it was 28. I got to go back and look for WrestleMania 28. The last time I remember the Usos actually in a match. Yeah. It was Primo and Epico taking on Justin Gabriel, Tyson Kidd, and the Usos, which I enjoyed a little bit of that one. And then I could have swore there was another one, to be honest with you. I could have swore they did it again. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. But you can't not have them on the pay-per-view, brother. You just can't. I can't defend you at that point. Yeah, they've worked way too hard. And like I said, unless that's what their character, because we all know WWE, if you look at what they say, it's a play, it's an act, it's a show, it's entertainment. Like Dolph Ziggler, right? If he doesn't get his Mania match and then come SmackDown after, or the character into him, if not getting the WrestleMania match makes his TV character better, that's where I could understand it. That's where I could understand it. But if you're just not making space for the Usos because you have too many matches on the card and the tag team titles really aren't the priority, brother, stop right there. That's where the argument's like, nope, you can't. So I'm going to say the Usos are on the card, and if they're not on the card, brother, we're going to come back and talk about it big time. Other things that happen on this card that are notable to me that I want to kind of point out is Mojo Rawley took the pin tonight. My man Mojo got a little cocky on the pre-show. People are mocking Mojo's skills. We're at this point right now where I think if I'm trying to define the character of Mojo Rawley, if I'm looking at Mojo, because like your boy, he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. He got thrown into a random match with Bobby Roode on the last pay-per-view, which I can't, whatever. Mojo. I know you're sitting on the back burner right now. I know WWE's got stuff that's more important than you right now. This is why you turned on Ryder, is what a lot of people are saying, man. I hope Mojo Rawley embraces the gimmick. I hope Rob Gronkowski comes in. I hope they live it up. I hope Mojo Rawley eventually becomes champion and he doesn't care enough and he's just out partying all the time. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, I would love to see Rob Gronkowski and Mojo Rawley either become champions, like maybe at some point tag team champions, or he wins one of the titles, and then on SmackDown, when they're supposed to have a rematch, they were out partying too much the night before and they couldn't defend it. And there's like TMZ footage of Rob Gronkowski. Like, Mojo, if you're going to do this gimmick and you're going to get all cocky, brother, and you're going to be sharing workout videos and how much you're killing it, take it to the next level. Just go out and get smashed with Rob. Be partying everywhere. Win the title and take it around the country. Make a big deal out of it. The Usos faced Kidd and Cesaro and the other two teams at WrestleMania. Oh, 31. Was it 31? See, this is like I was at 31 too. You think I would know this? Oh, it was. Okay, so it was Tyson, Kidd, and Cesaro versus Los Matadores. This is with El Torito, the New Day, and the Usos. Yeah, that was a great match. I enjoyed that match. I was there in person. I thought it was kind of a big deal. Overall, this card, like I said, this pay-per-view is nothing to like. You're not going to go back and rewatch this pay-per-view. It's a slow build. You have to hashtag wait for the payoff, in my opinion. If they were to come, they should have waited a little bit longer. Should have drug the hype out against the Usos New Day a little longer. That's a good question. Would I have slowed the beat down from should they have fought longer? I don't think so. I think it went down as planned, because I was still one of those people that was like, why are we getting this rematch? Like, we know the Usos and the New Day are going to tear down the house. And the fact that I overlooked the Bludgeon Brothers coming out tonight, it made me pop, man. Just have Mojo Rawley spear a guy like football style. Just have him live the gimmick, man. He's just better than everybody else. He's constantly working out. He can party. He can live it up. He doesn't give a... Because that's kind of like where I see it, right? Like, he could just mock all the wrestlers. He can, like, party it up with the football players. He can make himself into a big deal. Other thing I want to touch on. Jinder Mahal coming out afterwards in the Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode match. This was a long match, brother. This was a 20-minute match. This was the second longest match on the card. It almost was the longest match against the main event. Almost. Very slow-paced match. Methodical. The crowd was not into this match whatsoever, and I can't say I fully was either. But, you know, Randy Orton matches, the last 5 minutes, business picks up, and business was a booming. And then RKO out of nowhere happened, and then Grand Champion. Is it Grand Slam? Like, every single title in the WWE is Randy Orton's. And then Jinder comes out. For those that don't know, Jinder has Randy's number. Like, when I was watching the TV, when Jinder Mahal actually beat Randy Orton clean with the Colossus, I was like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, Bobby can't beat Randy, but Jinder right now can't lose to Randy. Randy can't beat Jinder Mahal, which is kind of a big deal, because going back, they did get their win over him. So this has been building a long time. Whether you like Jinder or not, this has been written as a match. Do you guys want to actually see a triple threat, though? I don't. I still want to, as much as it makes sense to give me Jinder and Bobby, a heel. It's got to be a heel Bobby Roode. I want Bobby Roode after tonight's pay-per-view to come out and be like, this is some glorious bullshit, man. I'm out here. I'm coming for it. Like, I'm going to be a heel now. You know what I mean? I want to see him turn after what happened last night. You saw it. He took out your boy Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. He ended it. He's got to come out swinging now. That's where the whole match didn't really make sense. Him dropping the title didn't make sense, although I said he was going to drop the title, because him winning it back at the pay-per-view would signify a lot. It would mean a lot. Although, personally, I was still hoping for Bobby Roode versus Rusev. Throw your boy Rusev in there. Give me a 6-man ladder match for the United States Championship. Give me Bobby Roode. Give me Jinder Mahal. Give me Randy Orton. Give me Rusev. Give me Aiden English. And give me Xavier Woods in a 6-man United States Championship ladder match. And let my boy Xavier Woods get the W. That's what I want to have happen. Give me those 6 guys instead of that triple threat match I know you're building to. I don't see WWE doing that. I don't, unfortunately. I see them going this triple threat route, and it looks like we're possibly, if they give us Nia Jax, Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, which would make sense because Mickie James has the most championships. Alexa Bliss is marching towards that. Her best friend, Nia Jax. I still want a one-on-one Nia versus Alexa Bliss, but I could see why they would do a triple threat. We could possibly have 3 triple threat matches on that card for WrestleMania. I'm not complaining, but I'm kind of complaining. I get why they're all there, but to me, if one of them could be more than a triple threat, it would be the United States Championship match. I don't want it. Jinder is 4 versus 1 and Randy. He's got his number, bro. Heel Bobby Roode versus face Randy Orton should be the way to go. Yeah, I would agree with that. You go in 1v1, but then you got my boy Rusev. You got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, which I have nothing wrong with that. I still would hope that we joked about this on the prediction show of him come out and Rusev singing, Rusev and Aiden English in a tank. Man, that'd be sick. Damn, give me that. Give me that with Bobby Roode. So I think that was about it for the card. You had Nakamura get his win over Rusev to, look pretty good. You had Rusev kind of laying claim to eventually challenging Nakamura for the title. You had Randy Orton and Bobby Roode, which was, again, not a match you're going to rewatch or nothing that's the most phenomenal thing in the world. But you got to heel Bobby Roode afterwards. Whether you like Jinder or you don't, Randy, Jinder, and Bobby are all intertwined. They have been for the past couple months. You had Carmella look kind of like a vicious, heelish beast tonight and getting the W. You had the Usos and the New Day get a match that people wanted, get stopped and destroyed by the Bludgeon Brothers, which served its purpose. You had Charlotte Flair looking like an absolute beast, overcoming Ruby Riot, who got her shit in and made an impression to me that made me go, damn, if I hadn't seen Ruby Riot before, I get it. Like, I get Ruby Riot. I like her. The fact that they both got ejected, so it was a one-on-one straight Ruby Riot versus Charlotte with that epic spot at the end where she has her in that electric chair and then smashes her into the turnbuckle, brother. I dug it. I cheered for it. I popped for that. I about lost my damn mind at that spot. And then you had AJ Styles overcoming all. And a lot of people are still confused by the Shane McMahon, KO, Sami Zayn thing. And I am too. Because Kevin Owens is a prize fighter. What prize is he fighting for at WrestleMania if he faces Sami Zayn? What would the prize be? I'm still trying to figure that out, and that's hopefully where SmackDown comes in, because Baron Corbin, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Braun Strowman, Elias, Dolph Ziggler, so many people don't have Mania matches right now. Even the Usos don't. We're going to have to wait and see in this next week. So hopefully these matches cement them. Hopefully tonight that AJ Styles overcame it all. So if Nakamura eventually beats AJ Styles, he crumbles it. Nakamura really doesn't have to be built as a beast because he's the Royal Rumble. I would have liked him to be a little bit more dominant. But you focused on AJ Styles overcoming KO, Sami Zayn, a 6-man, now going into Mania. Can he stop him? That's a big question. That's a big what if. So I'd love to know what you guys actually thought of the show. Carmella needs to cash in at Mania. Wouldn't mind seeing a ladder match for the IC and US title. I wouldn't mind seeing 2 ladder matches at WrestleMania whatsoever. I think it'd be great. Although part of me really does want to see Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. Personally. That's just me. I want to see that match. But if you had a 6-man IC match, just to go off air, we're going to end with this. If I could get those 3, plus Elias, plus Braun Strowman, plus... who's that last person? I don't know. But that would be sick. Give me Braun Strowman in a ladder match where Braun Strowman could just decimate the world. Because there's going to be 3 announce tables ringside. Braun Strowman could put Seth Rollins through one of the tables. Braun Strowman could put Finn Balor through one of the tables. Braun Strowman could put Elias through a table. Hell, you could take Braun Strowman and have him go put people through the table. Through the stage. You can make a big deal out of it. I'd enjoy it. Overall, this pay-per-view, again, nothing to write home about. I'm not going to rewatch this pay-per-view most likely, but I get what they were doing. At least for me, story-wise, I see where they're going with the characters. I see what they were trying to build towards. But again, nothing to write home about. It's just one of those WWE Network pay-per-views for $9.99, which, if you got the network, you didn't buy it on pay-per-view, you can still watch NXT, and you got the network to fall back on. So those are my honest thoughts, guys. I'd love to know what you think in the comment section below. And until next time, we're going to end it there. We're going to call it. And really, if I can send you home with anything, please give me Charlotte versus Asuka as the main event of WrestleMania 34. Give me that match. If you're already going to piss fans off with Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, no matter how much you try, the crowd's going to go home happy with Asuka versus Charlotte. I honestly believe that. That's what I would do. So, until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Ashley, Zero. We're going to be talking about Jeff Hardy a little bit later. WWE 993, Jack, the boss, over on Twitch-ish, DJ. Guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We're going to end it there. And until next time, it's your TeemingTubbyEmu. I hope you enjoyed FastLane. And if you didn't, guess what? WrestleMania is only a month away. Until next time, we will see you all later.